Right now, somewhere in your body, an alarm might be going off. Not because of danger, not because of hunger, because you're alone. You might not even notice it, but your ancestors would have. Because for most of human history, being alone didn't feel uncomfortable. It felt lethal. You live in a world built for isolation. You can order food without speaking to a person. You can work from a room by yourself. You can go days without real conversation and still survive just fine. But your body doesn't know that. Your body is still running software designed 200,000 years ago. And that software has one very old, very simple rule. Alone means unsafe. Loneliness isn't just an emotion. It's a biological alarm system. Psychologist John Cacioppo spent decades studying this. He found that loneliness triggers the same threat response as physical pain. Your brain doesn't file it under sad. It files it under danger. Why would evolution do that? Go back further. Imagine a small group of early humans, maybe 20 or 30 people, moving across an open landscape. No walls. No weapons stronger than sharpened wood. Out there, a single person alone was in serious trouble. A lion doesn't need a strategy against 30 humans with spears. It needs a strategy against one. Predators have always known this. Isolate, then attack. So the group was the wall. The group was the weapon. Your ancestors who felt anxious, even panicked, when separated from their tribe were the ones who hurried back. They rejoined. They survived. The ones who felt fine being alone often didn't get the chance to pass that calm down. Over hundreds of thousands of years, one emotional setting won. Discomfort, not comfort. Discomfort at being alone kept people alive. That's the twist nobody tells you. Loneliness isn't a flaw in your design. It's a feature. A very old, very effective one, still running quietly inside you, thousands of generations later. But here's the part that should unsettle you. That alarm doesn't know the difference between an empty savanna and a quiet apartment on a Tuesday night. It doesn't know the difference between real danger and a missed text message. Your nervous system just registers social distance, and social distance still reads as risk. Think about researcher Harry Harlow's experiments with infant monkeys in the 1950s. He gave baby monkeys two artificial mothers. One was bare wire but held a bottle of milk. The other was soft cloth but offered no food at all. Logic says the babies should have clung to the one with milk. They didn't. The baby monkeys spent almost all their time clinging to the soft cloth mother, only leaving briefly to feed from the wire one. What does that tell you? Comfort and closeness aren't luxuries layered on top of survival. For a young, developing brain, they are survival. Isolation is registered as a threat to existence itself, long before you ever choose a single belief about the world. And this doesn't switch off once you grow up. The wiring built in infancy stays active for the rest of your life. Adults who lose regular physical closeness, a hand on the shoulder, a hug, simple proximity to another warm body, often report the same restless unease that infant monkeys showed reaching for cloth over food. You never fully outgrow that need. You just get better at hiding it, better at labeling it as something else. Busy, tired, fine. Now bring this into modern life. You scroll through a feed of hundreds of friends. You can reach almost anyone on Earth in seconds. And yet loneliness has been rising for decades. How is that possible? Consider the shape of a normal day. You wake up, and the first thing you touch is a screen. You move through hours of meetings, messages, notifications, likes. By evening, you've technically interacted with dozens, maybe hundreds, of people. And yet something feels hollow. Why? Because interaction isn't the same thing as connection. Your ancient alarm system was calibrated for a world of maybe 150 people, tops. A world where you knew everyone's face, everyone's voice, everyone's place in the group. It was never built to process thousands of shallow digital touches a day. So it does something strange. It stays hungry, no matter how much noise surrounds you. Because your ancient alarm system doesn't measure numbers. It measures closeness. It doesn't care how many people know your name. It cares how many people would notice if you disappeared for a week. Those are very different questions. One is about audience. The other is about tribe. Public health researcher Julianne Holt-Lunstad pooled data from over 300,000 people. Her conclusion was blunt. Chronic loneliness carries a mortality risk comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day, comparable to obesity. Let that sit for a second. Your ancestors' fear of isolation wasn't dramatic. It was accurate. Being cut off from other people is still one of the most dangerous states a human body can be in. But why would loneliness actually kill you? You're not being hunted by a lion in your living room. So what's happening inside you? Chronic loneliness raises cortisol, your primary stress hormone. It disrupts sleep. It weakens immune response. Over years, it wears down your cardiovascular system the same way constant stress does. Because to your body, that's exactly what it is. Low-grade, constant danger. Your body isn't overreacting. It's doing precisely what it evolved to do. Think about what constant, low-grade danger actually does to a body over time. It's not one dramatic spike. It's a slow tax, paid every single day, on every system you have. Your immune cells become less efficient. Inflammation quietly rises. Wounds take longer to heal. None of this feels urgent in the moment. That's what makes it so dangerous. Your ancestors never experienced isolation as a decades-long condition. They experienced it briefly, then fixed it by finding their way back to the group. Your body still expects that same quick resolution. It wasn't built for isolation that lasts years. So when it doesn't get resolved, the alarm doesn't shut off. It just keeps running in the background, wearing you down one ordinary day at a time. Psychologist Robert Waldinger now leads the longest-running study on adult life ever conducted, tracking hundreds of people across more than 80 years. When they looked for the single strongest predictor of long-term health and happiness, it wasn't wealth. It wasn't fame. It was the quality of people's close relationships, not the number of contacts in a phone, the depth of a handful of real connections. So here's the uncomfortable modern mirror. You might be surrounded by noise, notifications, group chats, video calls, and still feel that ancient alarm quietly ringing. Because your nervous system isn't asking, how many people can I contact? It's asking a much older question. If something happened to me right now, who would actually come? That question has been asked by every human who ever lived. Around fires, in caves, across grasslands with no roof and no walls, just other people standing between you and the dark. It's still being asked today, just in a different setting, on a different kind of night. And here's something worth sitting with. The fix isn't complicated, even if it's uncomfortable. It's not more contacts. It's not a bigger network. Waldinger's research points at something almost embarrassingly simple. A handful of people who would actually show up. Not hundreds of acquaintances. Just a few real ones. Your ancient brain isn't impressed by scale. It never was. It's impressed by proximity, by reliability, by the sense that if the fire went out tonight, someone would notice and someone would come. Maybe that's the real reframe. Loneliness was never a weakness to push through in silence. It was never something to feel ashamed of. It's one of the oldest, most reliable signals your body has ever produced. It kept your bloodline alive for hundreds of thousands of years, long before language, long before you were ever taught to feel embarrassed about needing anyone. So the next time that quiet, restless discomfort creeps in on an ordinary evening, when the apartment feels too quiet for no clear reason, remember what it actually is. Not a malfunction, not oversensitivity. It's an alarm built by 200,000 years of ancestors who didn't survive the wild alone, warning you, gently but insistently, to go find your tribe. Because right now, somewhere in your body, that alarm is still going off. And it always has been the most honest thing you feel.